friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome back to another These Books Will Self-Destruct in 12 Months video. I did one of these last year and I recently just reacted to my video from last year, seeing how well I did. And if you haven't seen that video, I will leave it up in the cards above, but spoiler alert, I failed. It wasn't a very successful experience, but I think that over this last year, I have really, broadened my horizons, but also really figured out like what I like to read and what I don't like to read and what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And so with now knowing some more, facts about my reading taste and style, I think that this time around it will be a better representation of things that I actually think that I will reach for within these 12 months, but things that I've also had on my shelves for a little while that I haven't reached for, that maybe will give me a better and bigger push to read these books. All of these books I am still interested in one way or another, and I have some interest in reading them. I just haven't been compelled to pick them up during my TBR bingos or on my own time. So with that being said, I have 10 books again to talk about that will self-destruct in 12 months, which basically means if I don't read them in the next 12 months, I will have to unhaul them. I have watched several people do this video, but I'd like to shout out the two people that I personally was inspired by when I was doing this. The first one being Becca from Becca and the Books. She does this video annually every year. However, the person that I actually watched before I watched Becca's video was Caitlin from the Lit Review. She did hers, and then right after that I was inspired to do mine. I want to shout out both of those wonderful creators, and of course I will leave all of their information in the description box below if you want to go check them out. But that is it. Let's go ahead and get into the 10 books that will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. Alright, I have set these up into categories, so we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. The first one is romance. I don't have a ton of romance books on my shelves that I have no intention of reading because, as you guys know, I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for romance. However, I do have a book that I just recently hauled. Like, this was very, very recent, but if you guys saw that haul, I kind of bought this as a joke, as a little shits and giggles type of thing, and I'm going to push myself to try to actually read it in the next 12 months, and that is Foreplay by Maya Banks and Shayla Black. This is two short stories, so two novellas that have to do with foursomes. It's supposed to be steamy and erotic and fun, and the only reason that I picked it up was because the very, very first page, the first sentence, says, Zoe and Michael climbed on top of Chase Hillard, their sweaty bodies humming with arousal. That's page 1, sentence 1. So I picked it up and I was like, this is going to be a freaking blast. So I did pick this up. I didn't have any intention of reading it anytime soon, but I'm hoping that this will give me the push to pick it up and read it and see kind of what I think about this little short story collection thing, and hopefully I end up enjoying it, but we shall see. All right, the next book that I have here is a thriller mystery book, and I don't read a ton of thrillers and mysteries, but the ones that I had on my shelf I have a lot of intention to get to during the spooky season, but this one is another book that I just recently hauled that, I picked up with the intention of reading it, but it's one of those books that I've seen a lot of buzz about, but is really scary for me to actually want to pick up. I don't know why this one scares me so much, maybe because it's chunky, or, maybe because I don't hear a ton of people talking about it, but it is, I feel like, a classic mystery book that is very well known in its genre, and that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. This is by Stein Larson, and I've heard really good things about this, but it is a chunky book. It is over 500 pages, and, I've heard good things. Emily from Books with Emily Fox read this and really enjoyed it. But I don't know, the size of it, the idea of this book just makes me a little wary, and so I haven't had the inkling to want to pick it up before I even hauled it, but it was getting donated, and I figured, you know what, I should give it a try, seeing as I've heard good things, but this book definitely freaks me out a little bit, so I'm hoping this will give me a push to read this one, but we shall see. I have heard good things, so hopefully if I do get around to it, I will love it. Okay, up next we have 3 historical fiction books that I've had on my shelves for quite some time and haven't wanted to pick up and read them, and I honestly only remember the synopsis of one of these, so that's saying something. But I do have 2 books here that I picked up on a whim, and the other one that I had heard really good things about, so I decided to pick it up. The first one here being A Master Plan for Rescue. This is set in 1942. That is not at all my cup of tea. Like, I just don't like historical fiction books. I don't even know why I have this on my shelves, but I wanted to push myself outside of my comfort zone, and I feel like this is the year to do that. I'm still kind of figuring out what I do and don't like, and I think that there has to be at least something in the historical fiction genre that I like, that I will find some merit in. And so this says, it's 1942, the days of the radio, the air is dense with war reports and serial dramas. At the northernmost top of Manhattan, a boy named Jack has his ears on the speaker. The better to see the radio come alive behind the better to see the radio come alive behind his eyes. When he loses the one person he loves and lives for more than stories, his father, he cannot help believing in something. There's something that he can rectify. Okay, I'm not gonna read anymore because I don't really know how I feel. 1942, not really my jam. Setting is a war setting. Again, not really my jam, but I do want to give it a try. And hopefully this will push me to actually pick it up. So let's cross our fingers for that. My battery's about to die, so I need to make this fast. The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper is another one that I've heard some good things about. However, is this even historical fiction? I don't really know. 96-year-old Arthur Pepper lives a simple life. He gets out of bed at precisely 7:30 a.m., just as he did when his wife Miriam was alive. He dresses in the same gray slacks and mustard sweater vest, waters his ferns, Frederica, and heads out to his garden. But on the one-year anniversary of Miriam's death, something changes. Sorting through Miriam's possession, Arthur finds an exquisite gold charm bracelet he's never seen before. What follows is a surprisingly and unforgettable odyssey that takes Arthur from London to Paris and as far as India in an epic quest to find out the truth about his wife's secrets before they met, a journey that leads him to find hope, healing, and self-discovery in the most unexpected places. Okay, I don't think this is historical fiction, but this actually sounds really wholesome and cute. So now I'm even more intrigued to pick it up. So perfect time to put this on a video like this. All right, up next is a true historical fiction, I promise, and that is Wolf by Wolf by Ryan Rowden. Haley from Haley in Bookland was raving about this book last year, and I want to give it a try. It has some fantasy aspects to this. It is a alternate history after after World War II if Hitler had won, and it's set in 1956. And it has to do with these racers, and she can skin shift, and I've heard interesting things. I don't really remember the synopsis too much, but I have heard really good things. Haley hyped this up so much that I needed to buy it, and so I'm interested. It says the race to kill Hitler begins. It just sounds like it might be a really interesting historical fiction, especially since it's YA. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier for me to get into, so hopefully I end up really loving this one. Okay, up next I just have a contemporary romancy type book, and it's by Ellen Hildebrand, and that is The Perfect Couple. I picked this up because this was going to get donated at the store, and I've heard really good things about this author, but I haven't had any inclination to pick this one up. However, I'm still really interested, even though I have zero idea of what this is about. It says, it's Nantucket wedding season, also known as summer. The sight of a bride racing down Main Street is common as the sun setting in Nantucket Beach. Looks like a runaway bride, a body is discovered. It's a little bit of a murder mystery. I'm interested now, even more. Hopefully this is really good. I've heard really good things about this author, so I wanted to give it a try, but I needed an extra push to pick this one up, so hopefully it works. All right, up next we have the last 4 books, and they are all fantasy books. What? I know, fantasy, I know. But these are fantasy books that I've had on my shelves for a little while and have had zero inclination to pick them up. So I need a little bit of an extra push, a little bit more help to put these books in my hands for reading. So the first one I have here is The Last Named Sarah. I have heard really good things about this one. This is by Kristen Cicerelli. However, I just haven't had an inclination to pick it up. So hopefully this will help me. And this says, the old stories do dragons the way jewels draw men. No dragon can resist one told aloud. But the story didn't just lure dragons, they made them stronger. Telling such stories was forbidden, dangerous, even deadly. But after stalking this dragon through the rocky lowlands for 10 days now, her hunting slaves were out of food. Slaves? What the heck? Asher never returned without a kill, and she wasn't about to start now. She was the Iscari after all, and there were quotas to fill, so she told the story. Whoa, I don't think I've ever actually read the synopsis of this book. What? A forbidden love, a kingdom at war, a secret that will change everything. Y'all, I need to pick this up tomorrow. Like, what the heck? This is the perfect book to go on this because it has reignited my want and need to pick this up. This sounds amazing. So I'm so glad I added it to this list. All right, up next we have The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard, whatever. Aveyard, whatever. I can't do it. This is a classic BookTube staple that a lot of people have read that I haven't read. I've heard good things. I've heard the series is really good, but I just have not wanted to pick it up. I've owned this for months now, probably since the beginning of last year. Like, it's been a long time, and I don't even know what this is about. I just picked it up because I knew it was a BookTube staple, and I know that a lot of people loved it, and so I wanted to give it a try. Something about blood and loyalty and betrayal. From debut author Victoria Aveyard comes a lush, vivid fantasy series with loyalty and desires, where loyalty and desires can tear you apart, and the only certainty is betrayal. Why can't I talk? Okay, sounds intriguing. I want to read it, but I just haven't had the want and need to pick it up. So this is one that I'm excited to get to. Hopefully I can get to it. All right, up next we have A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray. I have yet to read a Libba Bray book, so I can't really tell you if I like her writing style or not. But I haven't heard much about this particular book. I have heard a bunch about The Diviners, but not about this one, so I want to give it a try. Again, don't know what this is about. A Great and Terrible Beauty is a curl-up under the covers kind of book, a vast canvas of rustling skirts and dancing shadows and things that go bump in the night. It's a vividly drawn portrait of the Victorian age when girls were groomed for lives as rich men's wives, and the story of a girl who saw another way. Why didn't I think about this one when I picked it up? It's historical. Victorian? I don't know. We'll see. I'm even less excited to pick this one up now, so we'll see if I get to it. All right, the last one that I have here is an arc that I actually don't know too much of what this is about, but that is Each of Us a Desert by Mark Oshiro. And this says, set against a desert landscape haunted by visible nightmares, Each of Us a Desert follows two teenage girls as they navigate the choppy awakening of love, loss, and identity, and learn to fight the light inside themselves even in the darkest of times. This sounds really good. I know that it has some type of fantasy aspect. I believe it is also LGBTQI+, but again, this is another book that I've had on my list for a while and have yet to pick it up or even wanted to pick it up, like with gusto, you know? I've been interested by it, but I haven't actually wanted to put it in my hands to physically read. So that is the reason why I haven't read this one, but I've heard one person talk about this and it was a good review. But other than that, I have heard nobody else talk about this, and I'm curious to see if it's actually good. So that is the last book on this list. Let me know down below if you guys have read any of the books that I have mentioned today. These books will indeed self-destruct in 12 months, so if I don't read them in the next 12 months, I will be unhauling the ones that I have yet to read. So I would love to know your thoughts on these if you have read any of these. If not, let me know if there's any of these that excites you in any way, shape, or form. But that is the end of this video. I really, really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. And of course, leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.